Hello and welcome back to Module 7. Right, in this session we're going to smarten up. Now, you've got a better idea of some of your options and possibilities. Let's take some time to fine-tune them, to make sure that they are really compelling. And it means getting up close and really personal with your ideas and plans for the future. Now, your brain needs clear instructions about the what, the how, and the when bits to actually get you motivated and moving forward. I call this the let's smarten up time. So to be really realistic and to make sure you actually achieve your goals, you need to make sure each of your goals is specific, that they are measurable, that they are achievable and appealing, that they're realistic, they're timed, they're enthusiastic, they're natural, they're understood, and they're prepared. So let's go through each one of these and see what I mean by them. So let's look first at being specific. Just being vague and saying, oh, I want a better work-life balance, doesn't really tell your brain anything specific. So it can't work out what you mean. But by getting specific and saying, I want to get home to Bath Ellie twice a week, or I want to help Molly with her maths homework every Thursday, gives your brain something to focus on. Let's look at measurable. Measurable is when you want to achieve your goal by. If you're too vague, nothing ever changes, as you mean well and are very well intentioned, but you actually do nothing towards making a firm commitment, so you never get there. It's a bit like saying, oh, we must meet for coffee sometime, and you never do. Again, your brain needs clear instructions to work on, so set yourself a time, like a week in advance, and say something like, oh, this Thursday I will leave the office at 5:15, so I can realistically get home in time to help Molly with her maths homework. Now that gets rid of all procrastination. Let's look at achievable and appealing goals. Now for me, the appealing part is the most crucial, as it's the one that really gets you all fired up, gets you taking some positive action forward. If you don't find your goal is that compelling, then go back to it and think again. Are you trying to get a better work-life balance because you really want that? Or is it just because your partner keeps nagging you? So it's actually not really one of your goals deep down at all. Being realistic. Now, realistic goals are the ones that feel right for you. They're not measured against what other people are doing or wanting. Some people want to get home at 3:30 each day, 5 days a week to pick up their daughter from school, but that may not be a realistic goal for you. Whereas twice a week could be. So relax and visualize what's really achievable, or you'll get discouraged, you'll get downhearted and you'll feel a failure, and this is not what it's all about at all. So set your bar perhaps a bit lower. Achieve your aims and feel good. That's a much better plan of action. Now, timed goals. What does that mean? Well, what you want to achieve in your balanced life needs to have a time frame around it, or as I say, it'll just stay a good intention. Again, be very specific and choose a time, a day, a week or a month when you can pin yourself down, because these markers act as milestones or a flag, sort of waving celebrations, like racing drivers across the finishing line. And they shake champagne everywhere, remember that? And that's what you'll have. You'll have that sense of achievement. And it needs to be celebrated in some way, from having a glass of bubbly, to a nice frothy latte, to a warm relaxing bath, or a pint down the pub. Whatever it is, it's your special treat, which is personal to you when you've achieved one of your timed goals. But whatever it is, I want you to pat yourself on the back and enjoy it. Don't miss this part out, because this is the part that keeps you motivated to keep going. Celebrations are really important. They keep you moving forward and they give you a sense of pride and success, and they really are very important. Now let's look at being enthusiastic about your goal. Well, if you're not enthusiastic about it, then you're not going to achieve it, are you? Being enthusiastic and excited about your goal is vital, because if you're not, who is? So you won't feel motivated if you're not raring to go, you're not hyped up and you're not enthusiastic, because this carries you through the challenges that you sometimes realistically hit. So keep the bigger picture in mind. See the smiling faces of your kids, the giggling voices perhaps of them, or put a photo of the family up somewhere prominent so it gets you out of the office on time to get home. Now your goal must fit with your natural instincts and with your intuition. So sit quietly and relax and think of your goal, just one, and see what you see, hear what you hear, and feel how you feel. What did you discover? If everything feels good, then you're in tune and everything feels natural and okay. But if it doesn't, listen to what your unconscious is saying to you and rethink your ideas a bit. Go back a couple of steps. Now, feeling understood around this is an interesting one. It's a really good idea to make sure that your ideas, your goals or your aims are properly understood by your partner and other important people in your life, your friends or your work colleagues or your boss. They need to know what you're trying to achieve so they can support you, encourage you and help you along the way. It doesn't mean you have to broadcast your private thoughts to everyone, all and sundry, but by telling the key, important people in your life means that they can be your cheerleaders along the way. And I often find that role with parents is where I step in as a coach, because I am that cheerleader, believing and championing you along your journey. Because when people hit a bit of an obstacle or a sticky time, I can come in with a bit of positive, confident enthusiasm and help you hold your hand and help you through that wobble time. But whoever you choose, do actually help them to understand what you're trying to achieve so they can support you. Now, being prepared is being prepared for setbacks, of course, because, real life is out there. You do get upsets, you do get setbacks, you do get things happen to you that you hadn't prepared for. It's called life. And often, actually, those closest to us can hold us back or sabotage our progress by a small remark or a stray comment that they unconsciously pull you back, and that can knock you off centre and upset your direction. So you've got to work that balance out between telling your partner or people at work so they understand what you're trying to get to and support you, or if they are there a little bit with snidey remarks, not really believing in you. You've got to find that belief within yourself. I think the key thing here is to be prepared for that to happen along the way, so you'll recognise it and therefore you'll be better placed to handle it if you do encounter it. For me, achieving work-life balance is all about taking baby steps towards the balanced life that I really wanted. So I want you to remember that it's the small steps. You'll get 3 steps forward and 2 steps back sometimes. You'll have a detour. You might even have a stop where you have to regroup and get back on the horse and ride again. But remembering to check in and to see that everything's working out every 3 months or so is a really good idea. That's why you've got this e-course now as a member of my club, and you can come back to it anytime you like, forever, because life is constantly changing. And making friends with the juggling in your life is half the secret, because as I said before, juggling will never go away completely. It's a fact of 21st century life. But it can be tamed and it can be managed if you just take a little time to step back and observe your life from time to time as a detached observer. It really is that simple. So, until next time, I'm going to introduce you to a very effective strategy I use with my parents on courses and when I'm coaching them one-to-one. It's called the 1 point. So until next time, see you later.